Did you know there is a 6'8" player at Indiana High School, way out in Indiana, that is attracting major college attention? The kid named Scoop has played his final game at Woodland Hills. And who is the best team, really, in WPIAL 6A? Hi, I'm Mike White of the Post-Gazette, along with Keith Barnes, my colleague and the high school sports coordinator at the Post-Gazette. And welcome to another edition of the Varsity Extra podcast on the Post-Gazette Sports YouTube channel. And there are only, Keith, a couple weeks left in the regular season of WPIAL in City League basketball. And things are really getting heated. And we got some things to talk about. So in our first segment here, in our Talking About segment, let's get right to it. I want to talk about a kid that is the best college prospect at WPIAL, and probably a lot of people don't know about him. He is Aaron Webb, 6'8", way out in Indiana High School. And as he said, I'm in the middle of nowhere. But Keith, he told me that. I did a story on him this week. I talked to him the other day. I'm in the middle of nowhere, but he is a great example of if you can play, if you're good, they will find you. And who has found him? He has offers from Penn State, Virginia Tech, James Madison, Pepperdine. Guess what? Louisville was at his game Friday. They are really interested. They're going to have him down for a visit. And he was at the Pitt game. Pitt shown interest also. And more schools are getting involved. But you're talking about a power conference player, and not a lot of people know about him.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting that you can actually find a diamond in the rough these days. You never see that with social media, with Huddle, and with all the things that are going on where these kids hype themselves and go to these showcases and AAU. You just don't find diamonds in the rough anymore. But apparently, that's exactly what Aaron Webb is. And he's averaging about over 20 points a game this year. He's got Indiana in solid playoff position. The one thing about him, he didn't score in double figures last night against Kiski, which I thought was kind of interesting. And
I think he had 21.
Did he?
I think he had 21, yeah.
Okay. Well, they lost in overtime to Kiski. So, yeah. Is he all that Indiana has, or is that enough to get them into the playoffs? That's a good question, too, and to make a run. Well,
one of the players that they have is his twin brother. Darius is 6'4". He's more of a football player, but it's his twin brother. But Aaron, I tell you, Keith, I haven't seen him in person this year, but I've watched a couple games of him through some Huddle tape. And I'll tell you what, you say 6'8", he is not a post player. He plays on the perimeter mostly. He had 7 threes last Friday against Penn Hills. And get this, Chris Giles, who I have a lot of respect for, I think is a really good coach at Penn Hills, told me, and he talked to Louisville's assistant coach after the game, said that he thinks Aaron Webb is one of the best players at WPIAL in recent years, in the last few years. Wow. And he really believes that. And he's 6'8". He shoots a really nice and elevates a jump shot, legitimate jump shot from 3. He can get to the basket, handles the ball okay, needs more weight, needs more strength, but that'll come. He is, Louisville apparently really likes him. They want him down for a visit next week. He was at the Pitt-Louisville game by courtesy of Pitt, but it seems Louisville is the one that wants him. He has that offer for Virginia Tech. Clemson has shown interest. So you're looking at a power conference guy who I just think is a great story because he is kind of in the middle of nowhere. And Keith, he told me 2 years ago, and I had heard this from a few people, he wasn't real keen on this sport. Even though his dad's the all-time leading scorer at Indiana, he was actually thinking of giving it up. He just didn't like it. And something clicked at his sophomore year. Before his sophomore year, he saw, you know what? I maybe can do something in this. He made a big jump last year, made a big jump this year. Now he's a big-time player. All right.
Wow, that's amazing, Mike.
Next subject and talk about.
We're talking about Scoop Smith. We've talked a lot about Scoop Smith here, but Scoop Smith played his last high school game last night. He's decided to go early to college. He played as long as he could, but he's going to head in for the spring semester. And it's kind of interesting. What is his legacy? And what happens to Woodland Hills now that he's gone this year? Because with 2 weeks to go in the regular season, you're losing one of the best players in the WPIAL. So where do you see Woodland Hills kind of shaking out without their best player?
Well, let me say this. First off, I want to make a salute to Scoop, one of the best small athletes in the history of the WPIAL. He's only 5'5". But you know what, Keith? Take that away. Take that small athlete away. He's one of the best athletes in the WPIAL in recent years. I mean, you look, he won the WPIAL 100-meter championship the last 2 years in AAA. He's a football standout. I mean, I've been through the big plays that he had throughout his career. Averaged, I think, 43 yards through his career on 60-some touchdowns. Averaged 50 yards a touchdown this year. Did great things. Did a lot of things for that community. He has done so much for Woodland Hills, and I salute him. He is a rare athlete because kids are 5'5" are not like him. And I say the fastest player I think I've seen in WPIAL basketball since I've been doing this. And I really believe that. I've seen him, up close, helping coach at North Hills a little bit. And I salute him, what he has done. But now, Woodland Hills, and how appropriate last night. They almost beat Newcastle. He hits a three at the end of regulation to send it into overtime, scores 25 points. They almost beat undefeated Newcastle. He finished, Keith, as a fourth leading scorer in Woodland Hills history, over 1,000 points. Just so many things about him I like. Now, about their team, they are still good. Now, he kind of he impacts the game in so many ways. He is a big loss. But they're still going to be good. They're one game out of second place in the section. They have other kids who are talented. They have some size. The section is, God, it's a log jam near the top, but they're still going to be good. But replacing him, there is nobody like Scoop Smith. I'll say that.
I agree with you. I think when it comes to being on the basketball court, he's just one of those guys. Like you said, he's quick. He's really quick. Can break a press really quickly. He's super quick. Exactly. He breaks the press better than probably a lot of players I've ever seen. I mean, he's just great at it. He can beat the double teams. He can get outside. He can shoot inside. He can dribble penetrate. He does everything that you need a guard to do, and then some. And he's only 5'5". But losing a player like that, it's going to affect the team chemistry. I mean, yes, you have some players and things like that, but he's kind of that gel that kind of brought them all together. It's going to take a little bit of time to bring that chemistry back into the place that it needs to be for them to challenge Newcastle and maybe challenge Central Catholic or Upper St. Clair or something like that when it comes to playoff time, because he's got that it factor, and that it factor is really hard to replace especially at the high school level. So it's going to be a challenge to see what Woodland Hills does moving forward, even though they knew the entire season they weren't going to have him the whole year. There was no way they were going to have him come into the playoffs, but it's going to be interesting to see what they're able to do to find someone else who has that kind of an it factor that can take them to the next level.
There is nobody like that.
No, there isn't. And I agree with you with what he's meant to that community as well.
He is a rarity. And I salute it. And in fact, I think he was,
or his Thanksgiving thing, everything he's done for that community is just everything to bring Woodland Hills together. It's been amazing, and he's just an amazing individual.
He's going to Miami of Ohio for football, and it was supposed to be leaving today. He was apparently packing up this weekend. I don't really know if he really wants to go early, but he is supposedly. So, Scoop, so long to you. You will be remembered for a long, long time. All right, next subject on talking about Keith. Now, I've seen all three of them now, but it's become, who is the best team in WPIAL 6A? Who is your opinion? Is it's three teams, one of three teams: Newcastle, Upper St. Clair, or Central Catholic? Upper St. Clair has one loss. It was a Central Catholic. Central Catholic has two losses, 1-2 Upper St. Clair, another one, and Newcastle's undefeated. So who is, I think the depth of pretty good teams in 6A is pretty strong. But right now, who is the best team in 6A?
I don't think it's Newcastle right now after they got taken to overtime last night. So even though they're undefeated, that shows that they're still beatable. And that's good, because that makes 6A a lot more competitive, because if you have one team that's just going to beat everybody up, it's no fun to even have this conversation. Upper St. Clair, they're a great team. They have to They have to get past Central Catholic again. And if Central Catholic can beat them, it's so hard to pick right now. I'm going to say Central Catholic. I think they're on a roll. I think they're playing really well. They've got a good guard play. They play that clamp down defense. That defense is just amazing. I watched them against Penn Hills, and they just locked them up all over the court. They have such a great team. I think Enzo is just such a great guard to keep them. Enzo Khalil is such a great guard to keep them going. He plays great at both ends of the court. He can score for you. He leads that defensive charge. That defense is what's going to be the difference, I think, moving forward. And that's why I think Central Catholic's the team to beat.
Well, you said Upper St. Clair's to get by Central Catholic. They've already played twice and they split, unless you're talking about the playoffs, which I don't know where they will be seated. So I don't know if they'll play again or not. But here's the thing about them. All three of those teams have something in common. They defend, and they defend pretty well. I'm not saying they're going to stop and defend these powerful teams from Philly area like Father Judge and teams like that, but they all around here, they all defend and really defend well. Upper St. Clair is something that none of the others don't, and that's a big guy, 6'8" Ryan Robbins. He's a force on the inside. Even though sometimes he doesn't score a ton, he's a major difference maker. If I had to pick, but I think any of them could beat any of them. If I had to pick right now, I think I'd pick Newcastle. And the reason is they have three guys that can hurt you offensively. Kai Cox, Damian Harrison, who I think has to be considered maybe for the Fab Five, the way he's going, and the freshman, Marino Graham. Three guys that can do things offensively. And do the other teams have that? Jake Foster. That's why I think Newcastle might have a slight edge. But as you can see, I mean, it is not. Woodland Hills almost beat them last night. So, and I think they're going to get challenged again. So I think the playoffs are really going to be interesting in 6A. But I give Newcastle a slight edge. But that doesn't mean that Central or Upper St. Clair can't win it. And there are some other teams in 6A that could make some noise in the playoffs also.
One that you're not allowed to talk about, by the way. Okay.
Well, one of them I won't talk about.
I know. Moving on. Let's talk about our shining stars this week. We both kind of been out and about, kind of looking at some of these guys. Mike, who's your shining star this week?
Well, my shining star, he doesn't play on a real good team. He plays for Blackhawks team, and they are 5-12 right now. His name is Marco Fusetti. And Keith, last week, he tied a school record for points in a game that was held by an all-time great in the WPIAL and is now the coach of the University of Texas, Sean Miller. He scored 51 points in a game in the 86-87 season. Marco Fusetti scored 51 points in a game last week. And who was that again? Against New Brighton. Tied the school record held by Sean Miller. Fusetti's a 6'4" sophomore. Good size for a sophomore. Averages a little over 20 a game. Now, I'm not saying he's Sean Miller by any means. Sean scored over 1,700 points without the three-point line.
Was the three-point line even in then? Because I was thinking about that. I don't think he had a three-point line.
But you got to look at this kid. He's a 6'4" sophomore, scored 51 in a game. He must be able to do something. He's my shining star. And Blackhawk, they're not anything like the program they used to be. Struggles again this year, but they're really young. They play a lot of young kids. I think there's only a couple seniors on the roster. So with Fusetti and some other players, maybe they're a team to watch in the future. But Marco is my shining star.
Mine is somebody I watched last night, and that's Josh Pratt from Lincoln Park. Yes, he's a Fab Five guy. Yes, he's going to Columbia. He gets a lot of accolades. But what I saw to him last night was the heart that you see in great players. And, for those who may not know, he missed a few games because of an ankle injury. And I watched him after the game that they beat Moon last night. And he's in there, he's cutting off his tape, and he's taped all the way up to his mid-calf. And it looks like he's got a cast on his leg. That's how thick the tape is on his leg. He takes off the tape, puts on a walking boot to leave the gym, because he's still rehabbing. He's still not 100%. And basically on 1.5 legs, he went out there and popped 30 on Moon, which is a pretty good defensive team. Just showing exactly who he is. The one thing I will say is when I talked to Mike Brisky after the game, he was effusive in his praise and said, look, he can't play defense the way he normally can because he's just not quite there yet. So his brother, Jeremiah, was playing defense and playing the clamp down defense Josh did. But Josh was just up and down the court. He scored 12 points in the first half, first quarter, had 2 3-pointers.
Finished with 30, didn't he?
He finished with 30 last night on 1.5 legs. He was just amazing to watch. And just the courage he shows to be able to wrap that up like that and drive to Newcastle every day for rehab to get his ankle ready so that he's ready for the playoff run just impressed me beyond belief. I mean, he was just
wow. He played on 1.5 legs. I mean,
yeah.
I'd like to see somebody do that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's definitely not 100%. You could tell he wasn't at 100%. He's not able to do some of the cutting that he normally would do. But, running in a straight line, he was pretty good, and he's still able to elevate. So it's interesting to watch him play. But, yeah, he's my shining star after that performance last night, for sure.
He's in a boot. But you know what they say, Keith, these boots are made for walking. That's what they're going to do. These boots are made for walking, and they're going to walk all over you. An old song. I had to bring that back. I haven't sung in a while on this podcast.
And we're all happy for that. Okay.
All right.
I have yet to sing on this podcast, and you don't want to hear that.
Next. Go ahead. What are we doing?
Predictions. Last week. Well, Mike went 6-4 last week. It's pretty respectable, but I was 7-3. And for the season, I've got a 2-game lead on Mike. I'm 13-8, and Mr. White is 11-10. So let's get up to it. Our first game, Franklin Regional at Gateway on Friday night. Mike, what do you see in these two teams?
Well, Franklin Regional's 11-4, 7-2. Gateway at 10-5, first in the section, 8-1. This is a battle. Gateway very easily, if they win this game, they win the section probably. The first time Franklin won 56-54, but Gateway seems to be peaking a little bit now. Keith, not just Mikhail Bruce McCroman, who is probably one of the WPIAL's better players, but they have some other kids stepping up. And with that going on, playing at home, I think Mikhail Bruce McCroman might have a big game in this. I'm going Gateway.
I'm going Gateway as well. I'm actually going to be at this game on Friday night. I like what Gateway's been doing. Yeah, they're 9-5, and they do have that loss to Franklin Regional. But you're right; they're peaking at the right time. They look like they're ready to make that step. And who knows? 5A is wide open this year. Anybody could win in 5A. I mean, I know there's a couple of really good teams in there. Let's be honest about it: Lincoln Park, Chartiers Valley. But Gateway's a silent killer at this point in time. Let
me bring this up. You say about 5A is open, and I don't think it's that open, but Char Valley is our number one team. I received word from an athletic director who was at the Chartiers Valley game last night that Julian Semplus, their top player, their top senior, maybe their top player, hurt his shoulder, and he did not return to the game. Did not look good. I don't know what the status is, but he did not return to the game, was not seen the rest of the night. So that could be a big factor for Chartiers Valley. All right, next game. Ready? Bell Vernon and Derry. This game is Friday night also. Bell Vernon 11-7, 7-1 section at Derry. Derry, they haven't done much and they don't have much in history, but they're 11-6, 6-2. Have that big 6'7", 6'8" kid. The last time they played, so this is a big game for the section crown. Last time they played, Bell Vernon won 81-61. It'll be a little closer this time at Derry, but the outcome will be the same. Bell Vernon wins.
I believe you. I'm agreeing with you. I think Bell Vernon's just got a little bit of that humph this year. I think they're going to be one of those teams that they might surprise some people coming down the stretch too and for it, but we'll see.
They're an intriguing team. Ricky Taberski took over for Joe Salvino. Incidentally, congratulations to him inducted. He's one of the inductees WPIAL Hall of Fame this year. They've got a good record. They got some good wins, but I don't know how good they are yet. Probably won't be answered until the playoffs because I don't think that section's that strong.
I was going to say the same thing. The section's kind of iffy. So we'll see what it brings when they hit the playoffs and they hit some of those top end teams.
There's the Bell. Next one. Bell's a little sick today. Seton LaSalle at South Park. Seton LaSalle at South Park. Who do you like?
I like South Park in this one for one reason. I've seen Seton LaSalle, and they can beat anybody. They're a good enough team that they can really beat anybody. But the problem with Seton LaSalle is they have given up way too many late leads. And it happened the first time against South Park. It nearly happened against South Allegheny. This is a team that they're winning. They're winning on moxie. And I don't know if they can sustain that. I mean, they're getting out to double-digit leads. In the fourth quarter, they're just being pecked away. And South Park is one of those teams. You got a big inside guy who can do damage. I think they're going to do the same thing. I mean, Seton LaSalle might get out to a lead, but it's going to be questionable whether or not they can hold it. And against South Park, I don't think they're going to be able to.
South Park won the first time 61-56. Yeah. South Park had a close game with Waynesburg last night. But I think they bounced back in this. The 1-2 punch, I like that 1-2 punch of Luke Scarf and Cooper Hockendoner, the baseball star. Also, they really do damage. A great 1-2 punch. I think they'll lead South Park to the win at home. And incidentally, a shout out there to Charlie Crummy for Seton LaSalle, Devin Crummy's son, having a really nice year. And his dad doesn't get to see him play all the time, but because he's coaching Alderdice. But shout out to him. He's having a pretty good year also. All right.
It was at South Allegheny and at Seton LaSalle. I actually ran into Devin. He got out to see his son play. That was actually a nice night for him, too.
Yeah, good. All right. Let's go to some games that are non-section games. That's some events on Saturday.
Chartiers Valley and Moon.
Oh, did we? Oh, Chartiers Valley and Moon. Okay.
We talked about both teams. We didn't pick one. Chartiers Valley at Moon on Friday night. The question is if Semplus is hurt, this becomes a lot more interesting of a game. From seeing Chartiers Valley, seeing Julian Semplus and what he brings to that team, he's an energy guy. He's a scorer. He plays both ends of the floor. But if he's out, all of a sudden Moon is a very good team with some nice inside guys. The Baumans both can hit the outside shots. If Semplus doesn't play, I like Moon in this one. I really do.
Yeah, it's tough to call it without knowing the status of Semplus, but I'm going to go Chartiers Valley, regardless if he plays or not. I'm sticking with Char Valley. All right, okay. All right. Let's go to those Saturday games.
There you go.
Events by John G. Marco, the Pittsburgh Basketball Club at Montour and North Hills. Some interesting games. First one, who we got first?
Lincoln Park at versus Gateway at Montour, and I'm going to be at this one. And this is going to be, I think it's going to be a great game. I really do. I think it's going to be an outstanding game between these two teams. Gateway's, it could be a preview of the WPIAL, possibly semifinals, possibly even the finals with these two 5A teams going at each other. So, if Josh Pratt stays healthy, they might even send him give his leg a little day of rest. This is not a section game, but if he plays, I think it's going to be a real interesting game. I like Lincoln Park.
I don't know. Do they rest Josh Pratt because it's a non-section game? I don't know.
I'm not sure about that.
I'm going to go Lincoln Park also. I'll go Lincoln Park also. All right. Let's go on to two games at North Hills in the Pittsburgh Basketball Club event. The first one is Knock versus Obama. Knock 14-2 now. Obama, they lost to Alderdice, so you have to call them the second best team in the City League. Mm-hmm. Interesting because Obama picked up a player in midseason just a couple of weeks ago, in Eric James, who was playing at North Hills 2 years ago and has bounced around to a number of schools over the last 5 or 6 years. And this game is at North Hills, so Eric James will play on his old court. So who wins this game, Keith? I
like Knock. I really do. I like what Knock has been doing. I think Joe Lafko's done just a fantastic job with this team. I mean, after seeing them when they beat North Catholic about a week and a half ago, just watching what this team can do. They slow teams down. They make you play at their pace. They've got good scorers on the outside. They can go inside on you. They're tough. They're wide bodies. They'll push you around. I really like what Joe's got going there, and that they're a contender for sure in 4A this year, without a doubt. And I think they're going to beat Obama.
They both allow only about around in the low 40s per game, so they both play good defense. Boy.
Yeah, Obama didn't limit North Catholic to under 55 points either. So
I will go. I'm going to stick with you. They have some size, although Obama does have one inside player with some size and some good footwork and some good moves around the basket. But I'm going to go with Knock also. I'm going to go with Knock. So that does our predictions, right? That's it.
Unless you want to do the North Hills game.
Oh, okay. One more game Saturday. Go ahead. You introduce that one. I'm not going to talk about it.
Who's North Hills playing in that game?
North Hills playing Penn Hills, 2 ranked teams. North Hills number 4 and 6A, and Penn Hills now in the top 5 again in 5A.
I'll tell you who I like in that game, and that's Penn Hills. I mean, I know North Hills has been playing really well so far, and have done some extremely good things, have really good scores, but I like Penn Hills' defense. When I saw them against Central Catholic, they were able to play a pretty solid defensive game against the Vikings. Now, the Vikings did win that game, but I like what Penn Hills is doing. I think they're a team that could definitely make some noise come playoff time. So I'm going to take Penn Hills in this one in an upset. I'm
going to sit this one out because, as you know, I do help coach a little bit at North Hills. So I said that. So all right, I have to pick it. So this doesn't mean I have to pick North Hills. How do I not? So I'll go with North Hills, but I'm not saying anything about the game except Penn Hills is good. I think they're really coming on now too. Hawthorne and Clark are really good 1-2 punch. And Chris Giles, shout out to him. I think he does a great job at Penn Hills. And
he does. Chris is a great guy. And
should be a good game though. Should be a good game. All right, that's our predictions. On to the Post-Gazette Fantasy League. We pick one boy, one girl each week based on points that they score in either their game Thursday night or Friday night. Although my pick this week might play on Saturday, so depending on who I pick. And we just go by points now. Last week, we picked 2. You win. You had Erica Gribble from Greensburg Central Catholic, Jason Fredericks from North Catholic. Gribble scored 27 on Thursday. Fredericks didn't play Friday or Saturday, so had to go back to last Tuesday when he played, and he had 30 against Deer Lakes. Now, I didn't count his game last night, Keith, when he didn't score that many, and I might have won. So I gave you a break there. I gave you a break. So you finished.
In before that because we were supposed to do this yesterday, but I was a little jet lag from my weekend away. So
yeah,
we're good.
You Vegas boy. Total 57. I took Mimi Thero, who scored 35, and Luke Scott from South Park, who scored 16. So I only have 51. So let's go to this week. All right, you go first. Who are you taking this week? Who we starting, boys or girls?
Let's do boys first.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with AC Corfield of Southside. He's been one of the top scorers in the WPIAL this year, and they've got Western Beaver, which has not been a good team in the WPIAL this year. So, I think he's going to have a big night against a team that's in the lower half of the section, and that's my pick.
My pick is who I talked about at the beginning of the show, Aaron Webb. I've got a web design to pick him. All right. He's averaging over 20. They play Deer Lakes. They don't play Friday. They play Saturday. They play Deer Lakes. Okay. So I'm going to pick Aaron Webb. He is my pick for the boys. Who's your pick now for the girls? Or I go first for the girls, right?
You go first for the girls.
I go first for the girls. I am going to take a girl named Sage, a freshman, Sage Mickens from Connellsville, averaging 21 a game. I probably don't know a lot about her. Again, on the outskirts of the WPIAL. Having a really good year, only a freshman. She's my pick, Sage Mickens, Connellsville.
I'm going to go with my alma mater pick. I'm going to go with Bella Dombrowski of Sarah Catholic. Yes, they're playing Avella on Thursday night. I think she's going to have a big game against the Eagles. And the Eagles against the Eagles. So got to pick the Eagles.
Well, some Eagles going to soar. All right, there you go. There's our show for this week. Predictions and things to watch in our fantasy league. And don't forget to follow us on Spotify, like us on our Post-Gazette Sports YouTube channel. And not only about 2 more weeks left in the WPIAL regular season section play, Keith. So things are really starting to heat up. And we'll come at you again next week, be on top of everything. And you can read about all the games and the top players and the top stories on our Post-Gazette website, in our print edition and our e-edition also. So for Keith Barnes, I'm Mike White. Everyone, be good.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.